The Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Senator Brooks, Senator Buck, Senator Canizaro, Senator Dennis, Senator Doñate, Senator Dondero-Loop, Senator Dondero-Loop, Senator Goicoechea, Senator Hammond, Senator Hansen, Senator Hardy, Senator Harris, Senator Kieckhofer, Senator Link, Senator Neal, Senator Orenshaw, Senator Pickard, Senator Ratty, Senator Scheibel, Senator Sievers-Gansert, Senator Settlemeyer, Senator Spearman.
Here.
Thank you. Let the record reflect there are 21 senators present. Please rise for the prayer and invocation by Pastor Jason Ching of Day Spring Church in Reno.
Lord, you call us to love our neighbor as ourselves. We confess that we so rarely do that. Give us new hearts today to seek the good of others and not merely our own interests. Give us a spirit to serve like Christ when he came to serve us. Give us a spirit of love greater than our differences, greater than our politics and the polarization of our day. Lord, would you grow in us the love that is so desperately needed today? In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Order of business number 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions. Order of business number 4, reports of committee.
Madam President, your Committee on Education, to which was referred Senate Bill number 420, has had the same under consideration, begs leave to report the same back to recommendation do pass. Also, your Committee on Education, to which was referred Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9, has the same under consideration, begs leave to report that with same back with the recommendation be adopted. Signed, Senator Mo Dennis, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Health and Human Services, to which was referred Assembly Bill number 426, has the same under consideration. Begs leave to report. Same back with the recommendation amended to pass as amended. Signed, Senator Julia Ratty, Chair. Madam President, your Committee on Natural Resources, to which were referred Assembly Bills numbers 31, 34, 74, 75, has the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation to pass. Signed, Senator Fabian Doñate, Chair. End of reports.
Thank you. Order of business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, May 5th, 2021. To the Honorable Senate, I have the honor to inform your Honorable Body the Assembly on this day passed Senate Bills numbers 25, 35, 74. Signed, Susan Furlong, Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Thank you. Order of business number 8, waivers and exemptions.
Notice of exemption, May 4th, 2021. The Fiscal Analysis Division, pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6, has determined the eligibility for exemption of Senate Bill 368. Signed, Sarah Kaufman, Fiscal Analysis Division. End of notices.
Thank you. Order of business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Senate Concurrent Resolution number 11, introduced by Senate Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, creates a joint special committee to conduct a study concerning innovation zones. End of resolution.
Thank you. Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, President. I move that Senate Concurrent Resolution 11 be referred to the Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections.
Thank you. Senator Orenshaw has referred the Senate
Concurrent Resolution 11.
Resolution number 11 to the Committee on Legislative Operations. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Sam Shad, Nevada Newsmakers, be accepted and accredited as a member of the press, and that he be allowed to use the appropriate media facilities in the legislative building.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And that concludes order of business number 9.
Thank you. Order of business number 10, introduction, first reading, and reference.
Senate Bill number 438, introduced by Senate Committee on Natural Resources, revises provisions related to agriculture. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Doñate.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we refer Senate Bill 438 to the Senate Committee on Health and Human Services.
Thank you. Senator Doñate has referred Senate Bill 438 to the Committee on Health and Human Services. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
And that concludes order of business number 10.
Order of business number 8, waivers and exemptions.
A waiver requested by Senator Canizaro for Senate Bill Number 438 to waive subsections 1 of Joint Standing Rules 14.2 and 14.3 and subsections 2, 3, and 4 of Joint Standing Rule 14.3 has been granted effective May 6, 2021. Signed, Nicole J. Canizaro, Senate Majority Leader, Jason Frierson, Speaker of the Assembly. End of waivers.
Thank you. Order of business number 12, second reading.
Assembly Bill Number 54, introduced by Assembly Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, creates the Advisory Committee on Traffic Safety within the Department of Transportation. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Assembly Bill 54, order the general file.
Assembly Bill Number 118, introduced by Assemblywoman Bilberry, Axelrod, etc., revises provisions relating to transportation of children in motor vehicles. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Assembly Bill 118, order to the general file.
Assembly Bill Number 413, introduced by Assembly Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, requires the Department of Transportation to establish an advisory working group to study certain issues related to transportation during the 21-22 interim end of bill. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Assembly Bill 413, order to the general file.
And that concludes Order of Business Number 12.
Thank you. Order of business 13, general file, third reading.
Assembly Bill Number 35, introduced by Assembly Committee on Health and Human Services, revises provisions governing certain programs to assist senior citizens and persons with disabilities with costs related to health care. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 15, subsection 2, end of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam President. Assembly Bill 35 consolidates two financial assistance programs for senior citizens and persons with disabilities financed by the Fund for a Healthy Nevada into a single program. This bill also revises eligibility requirements for the consolidated program and makes various conforming changes. Under the consolidated program, a person is eligible to receive assistance with prescription drug costs, pharmaceutical services, and other services if he or she is a state resident, meets certain requirements prescribed by regulation of the Department of Health and Human Services, and is 60 years of age or older, or has a physical or intellectual disability or related condition. The bill is effective upon passage and approval for the purposes of adopting regulations and performing any other preparatory administrative tasks, and on January 1st, 2022, for all other purposes.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll.
Senator Spearman, do you vote yes or no on Assembly Bill Number 35?
I vote yes.
All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Assembly Bill 35 is 21 in favor, 0 against. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Order the Assembly.
Assembly Bill Number 138, introduced by Assemblywoman Martinez, etc., and Senators Canizaro, etc., revises provisions governing eligibility for certain convicted persons for public assistance. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 of Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 2, this act becomes effective July 1, 2021. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Ratty.
Thank you, President. I am quite proud to have my name even a bit associated with Assembly Bill 138. I actually brought a similar version of the bill, and when I learned that Assemblywoman Martinez was also working in the same direction, stepped back, and I'm very excited to see this bill make it over to our House. What this bill does is it removes a provision in our NRS that prohibits a person who's been convicted of a felony drug offense from receiving temporary assistance for needy families and supplemental nutrition assistance program, SNAP, or what folks might know better as food stamps. In the past, if you had been convicted of a substance use disorder, you would have to jump through a number of hoops to demonstrate that you were in treatment, had maintained sobriety, had gone through all these steps, and in my opinion, that framework is a clear misunderstanding of the journey that is recovery from substance use disorder. And on the face of it is just inhumane, particularly when you think about temporary assistance for needy families, which is, of course, for the whole family, to say that that family is not going to get the basic support that they need to have food, shelter, and clothing because of the substance use disorder-related conviction of one of the members of the household makes absolutely zero sense to me. So I'm very proud that we are now going to recognize that for people to move forward with their substance use disorder recovery journey, they need to have their basics taken care of: food, shelter, and clothing, as in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I very, very much urge the body to support AB 138. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further remarks? All right, hearing none, the secretary will open the roll.
Senator Spearman, do you vote yes or no on Assembly Bill number 138?
I vote yes.
All right, looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right, the secretary will close the roll. The vote on Assembly Bill 138 is 21 in favor, 0 against. The bill, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Order of the Assembly.
And that concludes order of business number 13 and business of the desk for this legislative day.
Order of business number 16, remarks from the floor. Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Today, I have the distinct honor of announcing that the Council of Chief State School Officers has awarded Juliana Urtubey, an elementary school special education teacher, as the 2021 National Teacher of the Year. What makes this so important in this body is that Urtubey is an educator for 11 years and teaches right in Las Vegas at Kermit Booker Senior Innovative Elementary School. She serves as the co-teacher in pre-kindergarten through 5th grade special education settings and as an instructional strategist developing supports to meet students' differing academic, social, emotional, and behavioral needs. Juliana is a dedicated educator who has fostered growth in her students and a greater connection with her community through her innovative school garden program. She aims to lift up others, and she's a true example of a teacher with an asset to help people see their own strengths. Juliana is an expert in differentiating teacher practices for diverse student backgrounds and needs. She is thoughtful and an authentic advocate for students and communities that she serves. And Juliana has the expertise, passion, and heart to serve as the 2021 National Teacher of the Year. Juliana is also the first Latinx National Teacher of the Year since at least 2005, and the first National Teacher of the Year from Nevada. She is a nationally board certified teacher, and I have met Juliana, and she is absolutely amazing. Superintendent Ebert quoted that Juliana's work has made an immeasurable difference in the lives of students, families, staff, and educators in Nevada, and we are so excited for this opportunity to expand her positive influence and impact. So please join with me in congratulating Juliana Urtubey as our National Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Senator Dennis.
Thank you, Madam President. As chair of the Education Committee and as a husband of a first grade teacher and father of a middle school social studies teacher and friend to many incredible teachers, I wanted to take a moment today, together with my colleagues on the Education Committee, to recognize, celebrate, and honor all of our remarkable teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. And as it was just read, Juliana Urtubey, that was just announced Teacher of the Year. It's great to have teachers that kids can look up to, and I know in my community, as a young Latino growing up, we didn't get an opportunity to have those kinds of teachers that reflected our community, and so we're excited that Teacher of the Year is coming here from Nevada. And as Albert Einstein once said, it is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Educators open the imaginations and possibilities for all of our kids. And I'm sure all of us have had great teachers that have influenced our lives, and hope that you will take an opportunity today and this week to reflect upon those teachers that have influenced your lives. To our teachers, I want to say that there are truly not enough words to thank you all for what you do for Nevada's communities, and more importantly, what you do for our children. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Dennis. Senator Buck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A teacher's poem. Every day you greet your students with a smile upon your face, though paperwork the night before seemed like a grueling race. Kindness is your motivation, it's the love for what you do. You hear that special calling to which you always will say true, stay true. Your students are your dedication, devotion is to them. To you, each child's unique and special, a beautiful little gem. Some days are just demanding and frustration takes its course. Then you see those little faces, their inspiration is your force. Each day you're in your classroom reminds you why you're there, making differences in children's lives with whom your heart you share. There's a special pride in teachers and a love for what you do, and appreciations always shared between this legislative body and you. Children carry what they are taught throughout the rest of their lives, and our teachers play a very important role in shaping the future. From kindergarten to university, teachers are the ones who impart knowledge and teach us about everything that's important. Students will use what they learn to influence society one day. Teaching is arguably one of the most important careers that exists. Teachers give children purpose, set them up for success as citizens of our world, and inspire them to do well and succeed in life. In fact, teachers inspire all other professions. Everyone knows that the children of today are the leaders of tomorrow, and teachers are the critical link that makes a child ready for the future. They teach our youth during their most impressionable years, whether that's in preschool, during extracurricular activities, in team sports, or in the traditional classroom. Their legacy lives on. They actually influence the type of the world we will live in one day, both on a local and global scale. Teachers have the most important job in the world. They have the power to change lives, not just of those children they teach, but for the lives of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Buck. Senator Doniate.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll go ahead and keep my remarks short and sweet. And I want to mention that school teachers contribute so much to our state, and their endless efforts to educate our community is definitely undervalued at some point, at some times. And, you know, I am who I am because of the educators that took the time to listen to me, to push me, and to guide me throughout my early years. And I think it's safe to say that we owe teachers a great amount of gratitude, and that our words must come with actions to support and fund the work that they do. I also want to give a quick shout out to my cousin, Erica Enriquez, who is a kindergarten teacher in Clark County. And like many others, she had to transition to a virtual classroom environment due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I know this past year hasn't been easy for them, but I salute our educators for their resiliency during this moment. And also, I want to shine a quick spotlight on another group of heroes. Today is National Nurses Day, so to all the nurses that serve on the front lines of this pandemic, thank you for going above and beyond. So, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Doniate. Senator Hardy.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to, with some indulgence, take history of a legacy that my mother had. She grew up, for lack of a better word, on the wrong side of the tracks in Sparks, and had two dresses. That was before you were allowed to wear pants. She graduated from Sparks High School. She ended up graduating from UNR and then went back to teach at Sparks High School. On further degrees, she became a teacher at UNR, and she even began being an acting dean of her college at Home Economics and Family Relations. She had 5 children. One of them was me. Jill and I have 8 children, all Clark County School District graduates with college degrees, including a master's, a PhD, and a JD. 3 went to UNLV, 2 went to UNR, 4 are living in Nevada with their children, and so I have 13 grandchildren right now in schools right here in Nevada. I have a legacy that was started by my mother, who believed in education, and it has been a marvelous blessing to see children and grandchildren being benefited by such a legacy. So yes, we believe in education. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hardy. Senator Lang.
Thank you. As a retired teacher myself, I taught physical education, and I know the value of teachers and what they mean to our children. But during this pandemic year, our teachers have had to learn new ways to teach our children. Their dedication to the students they taught was visible every day as they used innovative techniques to motivate their students. And for this and so many reasons today, I honor Nevada's teachers.
Thank you, Senator Lang. Senator Hammond.
Thank you, Madam President. I too want to recognize the efforts of all those teachers out there who contribute every single day. In many ways, their efforts go unnoticed by most, but by some, they are treasured for years and years. I remember my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Bomer. I remember we threw her a party. I remember we sat around and we made her a skirt. Yes, I didn't sew it, but we made her a skirt. We used those acrylic paints and we all put our own picture on there. And I thought years later, as I was reflecting upon it, that must have been the most hideous thing ever. But I saw her when I was 18 and I talked to her and I asked her about that. And she says she wears it once a year to remind her that there were people out there who cared about her and that she had an influence over. Years into my teaching career, I know for those teachers who every day seems to be a struggle, there's that one student, maybe once a year, maybe once every 5 years, you get a note from them, you get a call from them, you get a visit from them, and it brings you to tears. You remember why you do it, and you move forward. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, and that's the appreciation I think that motivates most of us to continue to do what we did or do on a continual basis. There's nothing like getting that handwritten note telling you that, you know, if it wasn't for you being you at the time that you were there, that their life would have been a lot different, and maybe their life wouldn't have been their life anymore. And for those teachers who are out there on the front line still doing that, with all the other things going on around this world, I am certainly appreciative of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hammond. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam President. Actually, I just want to do a quick shout out to my sister, Sharon Armstrong, who's actually a teacher in the Henderson area, Clark County School District. She's a reading instructor. But I actually wanted to get a little bit more on what our colleague from District 10 mentioned. Today is National Nurses Day, and I wanted to do first of all, I think we should recognize that in this COVID window, the people, the real heroes in this whole situation have been the nurses and doctors who literally risked their lives to help and protect all of us. And even to this very minute, there are those of us who are still frightened of that, and those people that were in the medical community had the exact same fear, yet they went to work every single day. And of my 8 kids, 3 of them, my daughter Sarah Hansen-Gurries, and my daughter Mallory Hansen-Reed, and my daughter Larissa Hansen-Brown, who will actually graduate formally on the 18th of this month, are all registered nurses. My daughter-in-law, Allie Hansen, is also a registered nurse. My aunt, Pat Davis, and my aunt, Kathy Edwards, are also RNs. 2 nieces, Paige and Kayla, are also RNs. But I want to talk really for a minute about somebody. I wanted to talk about her back in the 2019 session, but we unfortunately had a canceled National Nurses Day for some reason I can't remember. Unfortunately, the nurse I want to talk about passed away in October of 2019. She actually started her nursing career at age 12, I guess you could say. She was a candy striper at Washoe Medical Center starting in 1956. In 1962, she graduated from the Washoe Western School of Practical Nursing at Washoe Medical Center. She earned her LPN at that time. In fact, I have a picture of this very special woman. Unfortunately, that's the picture that we put up at her funeral in 2019. This is my mother. This is my mom. And in 1962, she got her LPN. In 1975, she got her RN. She was recognized. She had the highest score in the state of Nevada on the State Nursing Board examination. In 1994, she went to UNR at the Orvis School of Nursing, where she got her Bachelor of Arts in Nursing. And she was honored again as the top senior scholar out of 300 people in the school. Her work career started in 1962 at Washoe Medical Center and continued at Washoe Medical Center until 1977. From 1977 to 2015, she worked as a nurse, both as a floor nurse, a supervisor, and had a career of over 50 years serving as a nurse. I might add, in that window of time, she had 8 children, including me, which she raised. She then went on to be not only a nurse, but she taught at Truckee Meadows Community College for 20 years, taught nursing, the CNA program there. Literally thousands of students went through her class where they learned about being caring and sensitive and to show compassion to all the people who frankly are vulnerable, and help how to, as a nurse, to preserve the dignity of their patients at this most vulnerable window of time. My mom, like I said, passed away in 2019, so I didn't get the opportunity to honor her. And I've been disappointed about that ever since. So pardon me if I show her picture here today, but this is an incredible woman. She had 8 children. At her death, she had 46 grandchildren and 28 great-grandchildren. Her legacy is carried on by several of members of her family that I've already mentioned that are stalwart nurses, love the program. These people are heroes. They work for all of us. When all of us were scared to death of the COVID, they were on the front lines, including all the people I've mentioned earlier who are still out there doing those amazing jobs. And they're following in the legacy of their grandmother and their great-grandmother. Her name was Sharon Riva Corner Hansen. And I want to just take a minute today to honor my mom for all her great accomplishments and her amazing family. And just a little interesting side note. This woman in this picture, this is 1962. She's 18 years old in that picture. And she has a son that is 3 years old. She had me when she was 15 years old. So, sometimes people think that life can come to an end when there's some difficulties. But in fact, she not only overcame any difficulties, but she is honored, loved, and revered by her son, who she had when she was 15, and that's me. So I just want to take a minute to say thanks, Mom. Thanks to all the nurses out there. Thank you for being on the front lines. And thank you, Madam President, for giving me this opportunity to honor the nurses of our great state, our nation, but especially today, my wonderful mother. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hansen. We can tell where you got that lovely smile from now. Senator Spearman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to take a moment to honor, first of all, my grandmother, who taught in segregated school systems in Texas for 15 years and then went on to teach another 60 years in a segregated school system in Indiana. She taught until she was 92 and was ready to retire because they thought she was 65. But I like to honor her. I also like to honor my sister, Diane Siddiqui, who is a retired teacher in Houston, Texas. And I wanted to piggyback on what my colleague was talking about with respect to the nurses. I want to thank all the nurses, especially those that have worked in ICU during the COVID pandemic. They put their lives on the line and their safety on the line, and many of them left home weekly and didn't go back until they finished their shifts so that they could protect their family members. And I remember when I was just about ready to get released from ICU, listening to the nurses and how they lamented that people, number one, wouldn't wear masks, and number two, how they would probably, as soon as the new year came in, probably want to do more together. And I remember hearing one say specifically, if they only knew what we have to go through to save their lives. So I want to honor those nurses who put their lives on the line, especially those in the ICU unit at the VA hospital when I was in the hospital. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Spearman. Senator Dondero-Luke.
Thank you very much, Madam President. And I would just like to close out our discussion on teachers and all the nice things that have been said today. You know, there's no other job like teaching. For 30 years, I was a teacher, and I was never sorry when I was with my students. As a teacher, you know, you hold your students in your heart, and you nurture their minds and their souls. And during this most difficult year of a pandemic, as a teacher, they were out there working so hard every day. And I think that it's important that we honor them this week because it belongs to all the teachers out there that have weathered the past year, educating pre-K, kindergartners, middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even our college kids who are going to become the nurses, the doctors, and all the other professions that we've needed during this past year. So with that, I'll just close with this little Chinese proverb. And if you're planning for a year, you sow rice. If you're planning for a decade, you plant trees. But if you're planning for a lifetime, you educate people. So thank you to all the teachers out there that are working hard.
Thank you, Senator Dondero-Luke. That was lovely. Further remarks? All right, Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Madam President. And I would be remiss if I didn't also share just my own personal appreciation for all of the amazing teachers here in Nevada. As I've mentioned, I'm a kid who grew up going to public school here in the state, and then in both my undergrad and graduate degrees from our state universities, and definitely would not be sitting here if it weren't for the really amazing work of so many teachers who cared an awful lot about a kid like me, who didn't have anyone in their family who knew a lot about education, but they taught me a whole lot, and I'm very grateful every single day for all of their hard work and dedication to me as a student, all my other classmates. So definitely an amazing job that our teachers do here in the state, and I appreciate certainly my colleague from Senate District 14 sharing his own personal story, and again, the thanks to all of our nurses out there keeping us safe on the front lines. For those of you who are interested, we also have the Law Enforcement Memorial at 1 o'clock, which is in just a few moments, so I'm going to wrap it up pretty quickly. But we are going to be honoring Nevada Highway Patrol Sergeant Ben Jenkins, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Lieutenant Eric Lloyd, and then Nye County Pahrump Justice Court Bailiff Gerald Smith. And so I hope that everyone will find some time as we start at 1 p.m. to join us for the Law Enforcement Memorial Ceremony as well. And in honor of our teachers, nurses, and law enforcement, Madam President, I would move that we stand in adjournment until the hour of 11 a.m. on Monday, May 10th, 2021.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Monday.